marijuana and they won't book me for that. See me on the streets, here they come, here they at. Stroll around the corner, hands in the hood with a gat. They won't book me for that. Won't bag me for that, huh? Undercovers come up to me, ask me for cracks, not protect and to serve. That's provoking the act. They won't book me for that. They won't bag me for that. But the man in ties, they just look at me back. I burned the marijuana and they won't book me for that. Is it the rich that is mean or the ways that you stack? Or the pigmentation of his skin, he's black like they won't book me for that. Won't bag me for that. Ain't even speeding, I'm doing my limit. Can't be taxed, it's illegal. System structured, so you can't be rich. Got us breathing mustard. My brain's blue from the smoke. Ponics, human product. Illumines false light, they call simulate. The devil used man to try to make life, cause God wouldn't tell him, condemn him, fell him. God gave us the seed to reproduce till Mother Earth is full. So in the mean, I burn the marijuana and they won't book me for that. See me on the streets, here they come, here they at. Stroll around the corner, hands in the hood with the gats. They won't book me for that. Where the good people at? Motherfuckers come up to me, ask me for crack. Protect them to serve, that's provoking the act. They won't book me for that. They won't back me for that. But a man in ties, they just look at me back, cause they think I'm black. Nah, man. Bruh. Something like that.
Marijuana, yo, it calm me. I don't know why they always on me. Burn it in a king for me. If you stop us, we put it out calmly. Officer, where's your authority? To impede a national on her land or his seas. How I love the sense of me. Burn it, I tell, no grabber in my weed. We take out the stems and seeds. Rolling while I'm rolling, that's a regular tendency. Enough man beat the NSC, but me some bubble roots or some ganja tea. I take 2 shots for my enemies. Envious bad mind with the jealousy. But on the nothing we are the remedy. Chef in Zanga bits, we mastered the recipe. Watch this roll, yeah, it's a masterpiece. I don't care who sees, I burn my herb in the streets. The cushion thing is always on me. Few times the pussy them try swam me. Intelligent tone, I tell them calmly, I'm MIA, Moorish Imperial Army. Mind what you say, you might rub me wrongly. Matter in me eye, I bury and beef. Me no even brush me teeth. Me want me champagne, me no get a spliffy bun, me get cranky.
Marijuana and they won't book me for that. See me on the streets, here they come, here they at. Stroll around the corner, hands in the hood with a gat. They won't book me for that. Won't bag me for that, huh? Undercovers come up to me, ask me for cracks, not protect and to serve. That's provoking the act. They won't book me for that. They won't bag me for that. But the man in ties, they just look at me back. I burned the marijuana and they won't book me for that. Is it the rich that is mean or the ways that you stack? Or the pigmentation of his skin, he's black like they won't book me for that. Won't bag me for that.
Whew. Fuck me, that was intense.
Yeah. Secret Society Productions. Do them and I just do me. Do them and I just do me. Masons think they added, blacks think they national. Celebrating king's speeches at the Capitol. Don't have rights, so they act like an animal, thinking they the baddest in a dead status. Won't listen when I say they brown, not black. Don't think they sound like a clown on crack. Won't realize since their third eyes closed. Don't realize they waste money on clothes. Children with ashy knees, most are obese. Moms don't cook but order pizza with cheese and buckets of the clone chicken is finger licking till your arteries are sticking. Hearts stop ticking. They wanna play the blame game, but it's too late. Most still don't learn till it's too late. I let them do them and I just do me. Stay watching DVD lectures and Bun TV. Let the dead do them and I just do me. My order of the day is still nationality. Let the dead do them, I'll just do me. Stay watching DVD lectures and Bun TV. I'll do me and let the dead do them. Mixing their trees with the cigarette blend. I'll do me and let the dead do them, accepting the slave brand to identify them. I'm on Big Book, can't believe they so dead. Talking without thinking, brainless heads, aimless threads. If you're black, you're a slave. Instead of humbling, they delete me from their page, calling me names, but that's no bother. Most on the return of emergency fund robbers, pushing the I'm black to cause friction. That's when I agree and I'm in the jurisdiction. They want me Morisco and at the disco. Caravana isn't carnival, no more calypso. The problem's not the world but the people in it. Abusers of authority got the people timid. Not behind the wheel but giving themselves limits. Things I say make pop eyes without spinach. Too much dead to wake up, work can't finish. The first Jews weren't black or their language Yiddish. Let the dead do them and I'll just do me. My order of the day is still nationality. Let the dead do them, I'll just do me. Stay watching DVD lectures and Bun TV. I'll do me and let the dead do them. Mixing their trees with the cigarette blend. I'll do me and let the dead do them, accepting the slave brand to identify them. The dead will do them like they've always done. Won't change unless in front the barrel of a gun. Won't change though Barack said it's that time. Youths killing each other, same content in their rhyme. Rappers mislead, situations critical. When we write that spelling spells are rituals. You might think not, I suggest every thought that you think should be done very careful before you give me an earful. My reply, the kind to make your ears tearful. Stomach butterflies won't wonder why. Just accept the message from me from the Most High. That's why most die, cause they don't listen. Nicene Council Conference made you a Christian. Wicked Khalees got circling Kaaba fictions. All law is from my eye, they say black Egyptian. Causing separations and black divisions. Brown faces frontline on attack missions. The plot thickens, but it's thin perceptions. Got them spending less time on Jewelry than Inception. Voting for candidates whose motive direction is to keep us at risk in priority sections and make us have an altered perception. Decepticons got Autobots with deceptions. Let the dead do them and I'll just do me. My order of the day is still nationality. Let the dead do them, I'll just do me. Stay watching DVD lectures and Bun TV. I'll do me and let the dead do them, mixing their trees with the cigarette blend. I'll do me and let the dead do them, accepting the slave brand to identify them.
I get emotional, under the pressure of the oppressor. We got to do it, make everything better. We all we got, so let's join together.
Gone are the days of some rest. Where are the days of less stress? Where are the days of calm unification? Fez and Turban, the whole nation.
Northgate, H2O flow, Chic, Canaaanland Morris, Release Fall, Shalon Davis, salute, Hot House, check it. They say they wanna learn, they only debate, referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound great. Study nationality before you question my estate. I'm not a minority, why you so late? Majority rules, here comes the test. Fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest. That's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never Terranilius. That is my land, never faking. Secret traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. If you please more, following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more, we more. That's a fact. Canaaanland.
say they wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing.
Northgate, H2O Flow, Sheik, Canaaanland Moors, when these fall, Shalon Davis, salute, hot house, check it, they say they wanna learn, they only debate, referencing the truth, trust me, they only sound the great, study nationality before you question my estate, I'm not a minority, why you so late, majority rules, here comes the test, fact, that's my hand in the form of a V on the chest, that's a womb that is blessed like a moon and a crest. Major forever, infinite mindset. Major from birth, that's a seed in process. I'm a more that is easy to digest. Competent, never terrenilius. That is my land, never faking. Sacred traditions, petitions for what you're not Jamaican. Westmoreland to Portmore, everybody needs more. We feel please more. Following the apostle, we should read more. I see the unseen more. We more. That's a fact. Canaaanland.
They say they wanna learn, complain classes are too long. Don't want it on a phone call, energy too strong. Get it from the wrong source, now they way off course. Think they must be Muslim and give up on all sports. Should give up the red meat, must give up on all porks. Won't be yelling haram when the bottles are uncorked. Eating with the spoon, use forks for tuning. Eating humble pie, no ego ballooning. Samson 2 caterpillars, got him cocooning. As the full moon hung, spiral energy moving. Up through the crown chakra, energy shooting. And told me upload classes before live YouTubing. 16,000 subscribers, 20% consuming. 80% troll pretending to be tuned in. Comment on every video, pushing the thumbs down. We'll push the link when we live just like a clown. Pouring in the incompetence, always debating. Dissing Drew Ali but won't give their location. His image on the black banner, that's placation. Just get him out of here, Yusuf yells in frustration. We know they're playing games, we're not berating. Calling 911, scimitars penetrating. In defense of prophets and mothers abused. And newly awakened Moors, amused and confused. Islam Moors, peace and love. Don't forget, every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m., Astrologics with Raz Mariah Bey, founder of rvbaypublications.com. And don't forget, tomorrow is third Thursday of every month, Sons of Allah, with Mizraim L and Kudro L at MHHS Blog Talk Radio, 9 p.m. 9 p.m., third Thursday. We had a little break, but we're back. So we'll see what's good tomorrow. Sons of Allah, MHHS Blog Talk Radio, Moorish Heritage and History School. And tonight, 7:30, and every Wednesday, ongoing classes going on, just so you can get yourself right. Although for those who want to get themselves right. The classes with Raz Mariah Bey. December 15th, tonight, is going to be the Xmas broadcast. So if you're into the Christianity and all that stuff, whatever, get your PayPal. Hit the PayPal. 20 notes. Get in on the class tonight, 7:30. If you're into all the Xmas or you want to know, should you celebrate it? Shouldn't you celebrate it? People are pressuring me for gifts. I don't know what to do here, but yeah. Slow down. Check tonight. Get an Xmas re-up. Get an Xmas re-up so when they bring it to you, you could have a responsible, respectable answer for anything they present. That's tonight, 7:30 p.m. Every Wednesday, though. Tonight's a special Xmas broadcast. And don't forget tomorrow night, Sons of Allah on MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, call-in show. If you have any questions, you just want to vent or something, talk to Sons of Allah. We're here. And it's also going to be streamed live on Canaaanland Moore's YouTube page. So I know you got the commercials out the way. Teacher dropped this one on me today. This one's pretty crazy. Female elephants are evolving without tusks in Mozambique. This was crazy. Because something we can't even... How are elephants being born with no tusk? Not growing them. Not growing them. Are they sick? What's going on? Let's see. Elizabeth Gamillo. The genetic mutation causing tusklessness in females seems to be lethal in males. So nature is preserving itself due to the imbalance. Right now, try this now. The genetic mutation causing tusklessness in females seems to be lethal in males. So, just that line right there is telling me that based on this circumstance, that we're going to find out how elephants don't have tusks. We're going to realize just from this line right here, we're going to realize that the female species, due to this genetic mutation, the female species is the one that's going to stay alive. Because all it's going to do is keep producing itself. Because if the males are going to be lethal, if they don't have, then what's the use of the male? Because apparently if it's lethal in males and females are still producing themselves, then something else is going on, or is there going to be one elephant, one Mandingo elephant for all these other female elephants? These are going to live forever. They're just going to give him all his elephant powers. Give all their elephant powers to him, and he's going to be the one forever. No males. What's going on here? Scientists have linked heavy ivory poaching to an increase in tuskless African female elephants in Mozambique. The East African country underwent a nearly 2-year civil war that decimated 90% of the Grongosa elephant population because both sides engaged in animal poaching. This activity may have set off an evolutionary response that favored tuskless elephants as population numbers recovered.
While no longer having ivory tusks, many save elephants from poaching. The genetic mutation responsible for eliminating tusks is lethal to male elephants. Ivory tusks are incisors that elephants use to dig for water, strip trees of bark and food, lift objects, protect their trunks, defend themselves. The large teeth are highly sought after for their value. 1 pound of ivory worth 1,500 notes, and tusks can weigh up to 250 pounds. Poaching was amplified during the Mozambican Civil War between 1977 to 1992 to finance the war efforts. Elephant population numbers dropped from 2,500 individuals to around 200 in the early 2000s. However, many female elephants that survived poaching during wartime were overlooked because they were already naturally tuskless. So after the war ended, female elephants that naturally lacked tusks were more likely to pass down genes coding from tusklessness. To see how the ivory trade and poaching pressures may have amplified natural selection toward tuskless elephants, researchers started collecting data on the elephants at Gorongosa National Park. However, they noticed that the elephants with no incisors were usually female. The park never seen a tuskless male, suggesting the trait related to tusklessness is sex-linked. Nature is a wonder to behold. And nature is supposed to be where you're at to get yourself right. Nature is supposed to be where you're getting your inspiration from. Oh, we can't forget. We can't forget. I want to give honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And for him plagiarizing certain documents and certain books and all that stuff, so we can have a reference point. So we can have a reference point. Right? Just keep in mind the whole aspect of nature and how nature is going to do what nature does. Right? This is our chapter 1, Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple. Heart. Now let every creature hear. The plane of the soul is but the ether of the spirit plane, vibrating not so fast. And in the slower rhythm of this plane, the essence of life are manifest. The perfumes and the odors, the true sensations, and all of love manifest. And these soul attributes became a body beautiful. A multitude of lessons man must learn upon the plane of soul. And here he tarries many ages until his lessons are all learned. Upon the boundary of the plane of soul, there he must overcome, they overcome them every one. Essences took on a final garb. The perfumes and odors and the true sensations and the all of love were clothed in flesh, and man was clothed in flesh. Perfected man must pass through all the ways of life, and so a carnal a kernel was full manifest, a nature that sprang forth from fleshy things. Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so, this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, that he might be the strength of Allah made manifest. Let every living thing stand still and hear. Man is the Lord of all the plane of manifest, or protoplast, of mineral, of plant, of beasts, but he gave up his birthrights just to gratify his lower self. But man will regain his lost estate, his heritage, but he must do it in a conflict that cannot be told in words. Yet he must suffer trials and temptations manifold. But let him know that cherubim and seraphim that rule the stations of the sun and spirit of the mighty Allah, who rule the solar stars, are his protectors and his guide, and they will lead to victory. These people have gone away from nature. And it's only the colonial mindset that they were taught. It's only the colonial mindset that they adopted. Right? Let's go get how Europe underdeveloped Africa. Gratifying their lower self. You're going to kill a whole elephant for tusks. That's it. And think they're not doing something to the ecosystem. And whatever else they're out there murdering for whatever they want. A tail. Kill a whole ox for a tail. Tail, that's it. Might have lived, you just cut the tail off. But no. Everybody's going against nature. And you're never going to win. You can't beat nature, dummy. You're not going to win against nature. Nature's going to beat you every time, just because you keep wanting to gratify your lower self. Constantly wanting to gratify your lower self. Right? This is what happens when you gratify your lower self. You mess up the whole ecosystem. That you're sitting here murdering elephants for tusks. That's when you check in our time, we had crystals and diamonds, minerals, stuff like that. We're not killing no animals and all that stuff. What are we doing that for? That the population of them in an area went from 2,500 to 200 because of people, because of lower self gratifiers that aren't seeing the higher. That's why Juali's the man, because he brought you divine and national, so you don't have any choice in the matter. You're either gonna get it divinely or you're gonna get it nationally. If you have enough sense, you're gonna put both of them together and sort everything out, because that's just what it is. And just put it in all the different genres of how they just gratify their lower self. In the entertainment or whatever, it's just lower self stuff. in the church, whatever, just lower self, jumping up and down, put money in the thing, all that's lower self. None of that is for the spiritual upliftment. All of that is, sacral chakra down. Has absolutely nothing to do with elevating. And then what Drew Ali tell you, that lower self breeds murder, lewdness, slackness, unrighteousness, and everything that you don't want. And Moore's have been putting it on the record for years. Moore's been putting it on the record for years. But this is what happens when you go against the divine and chase after the little pebbles in the bottom thinking you got diamonds. To see how the ivory trade and poaching pressures may have amplified natural selection toward tuskless elephants, researchers started collecting data on elephants at Girl Supply. However, they noticed. We have read all that already. If a female elephant had one copy of the tuskless mutation, they would have no tusks. So when the elephant reproduces, half of their daughters will have tusks, and the others will not have tusks. Half of the males will have tusks if their offspring is male, and the other half will die, possibly even before birth. And it's not even the elephant's fault. It's people's fault that the elephants have to go through this. Because they don't realize that there's a line between them and nature, so you can't violate it. The other one was what's it called again? Deep something, and it's about how they're taking all the fish from the reefs for people to have in their $50 billion fish tank or whatever at their house. And how reefs are being abandoned by other, aquatic life, because these particular fish that they took were the fish. Whatever they do, everybody else follows or whatever. Crazy documentary. Deep something. Deep. Not, I can't remember. But you'll find it. It's up there. Crazy. Just with regard to people's disregard for nature. Just to gratify some lower thing. Like next level price of fishes. Not some nothing. Prices up there for fish. But again, it's because it's nature. It can't be duplicated. What other than by itself. So have some honor and some respect for nature. Don't do stuff to nature, because when nature comes back around to you, you're gonna be mad. Ones who study probably saw this one already. But for the doubters, did Vikings bury their dead in clothing bearing the Arabic word for Allah? While contact between Vikings and Muslim cultures is well documented, The interpretation of the 10th century burial cloth has been called into question. Editor's note, October 16th, 2017. Stephanie Mulder, an associate professor of Islamic art and architecture at the University of Texas at Austin, has called the interpretation of a Viking textile into question. On Twitter, she explains that while Vikings had rich contacts with the Arab world, the textile, which dates to the 10th century, uses square kufik, a style of epigraph that is known to exist for another that is not known to exist for another 3 centuries. In the thread, she adds that even if square kufik tablet weaves were used, the text reads Ilah, not Allah, which she writes basically makes no sense in Arabic. The story is developing. When textile archaeologist Annika Larsson and Uppsala University first saw the intricate patterns laced in silver and silk thread on the burial garments of Vikings, she didn't know what they signified, but their shapes tugged at her memory. I couldn't quite make sense of them and remembered where I had seen similar designs. In Spain, on Moorish textiles, she tells Tariq Hussein, reporting for BBC. She realized that the patterns weren't just geometric designs, but Arabic Kufic script, developed in the 17th century and one of the first Arabic scripts used to write the Quran. I'll give you that one again, just so you could hear that it's not us. Go talk to the Smithsonian. Don't debate Moors. Go debate the people who say what Moors say. Since you don't want to listen to Moors, you're going to listen to Smithsonian. I couldn't quite make sense of them. Then I remembered where I had seen similar designs. In Spain, on Moorish textiles. She realized that the patterns weren't just geometric designs, but Arabic Kufic script, developed in the 17th century and one of the first Arabic scripts used to write the Quran. Larson was working with a team of researchers to recreate textile patterns for the Viking culture exhibit at the Enköping Museum in Sweden. To investigate the odd occurrence of Arabic script on Viking clothing, the team enlarged the patterns and examined them from many angles, including from behind. This at last revealed the word Allah, or God, stitched in mirrored lettering. The name Ali was also repeated, a reference to the 4th Caliph of Islam, who is revered by the Shia, the largest Muslim minority group. Perhaps this was an attempt to write prayers so they could be read from left to right, but with Arabic characters they should have, Larson says in a press release from the university. Now, why do the Vikings have a swastika? The Vikings have a swastika. Vikings are before certain people with the ovens and stuff, right? And they have swastika? I thought that was a Buddhist thing. So hold on a second. So if swastika is a Hindu Buddhist thing, and the swastika is an ancient Egyptian thing, the swastika is a metaphysical thing. What are the Vikings doing with it? I thought they were the brutes and all that stuff, and this is very interesting. If you never heard this before, This should be interesting to you. A mirror reveals the Arabic word for Allah in reconstructed stitchwork from Viking age burial garments. So it's either these Vikings were us, or the one who did the funerary rites was us. And when you bring them to get buried by us, they get the utmost treatment. There's nothing else that you can say. There's nowhere else. We're everybody. We're everybody, or everybody knows who we are already. We've been here. We were everywhere. That's how everybody knows who we are. This isn't the first time that researchers have uncovered evidence for a connection between the Vikings, who enjoyed great influence in Europe from the late 8th century through the mid-11th, and the Islamic world, according to Martin Belam at The Guardian. More than 100,000 Islamic silver coins have been found in Viking Age Scandinavia. Researchers uncovered objects related to Islam, Christianity, and the worship of Thor at Vale of York Viking Hoard in 2007. And a Viking woman's ring found in 2015 had an inscription reading "For Allah" or "To Allah." Now remember, the Vikings had the hats with the horns on it, and then the ships, and then you think, well, hey, hold on a second, they had the ships and all that stuff. Then Moors had ships. 8th century, 11th century, Europe, Vikings, 8th century, 17, 18, at least to the 1700s. There was heavy Moorish influence. The Moorish influence that heavy that even Vikings took more stuff. Because y'all know Europe was Dark Ages and all that stuff, and people was dumbass. So if anybody was doing anything, it was probably them. And then how many of them were there? Like 6 of them, 2 boats or something. Exactly, 13th warrior. All that hold the sword up, yelling, all that stuff. They're talking about "For Allah, to Allah," and all that when they're yelling. So either they were Asiatics. Yeah, we know. The cave and all that stuff. Yeah, we know. Either they were Asiatics, and somehow they turned to Europeans, or they were pale people, and when they came out of the cave, we were already there already. And the rest is history. But if you're finding all this Allah and Arabic and Islamic stuff in Scandinavia, if you're finding Allah there, then Islam must have been pretty serious. Islam must be some very serious stuff if stuff is in Scandinavia. And with some reputable people like Vikings. And then they got They don't got their own coins. They got Islamic silver coins. Why do they have Islamic silver coins? Shouldn't they have their own stuff? Instead, the discoveries offer evidence of contact and the influence of Islam on Viking customs. Larson's earlier research has detailed how common it was for Eastern artifacts to appear in Viking Age graves, suggesting burials were shaped by Islamic traditions. It's also possible that some people in Viking era graves were Muslim. That's a whole different thing now. So you go to the Viking cemetery and all you're seeing Islamic stuff there? These people, were there even Vikings? Was Vikings really maybe 5 guys? Everybody knows the ones on the block just terrorize everybody. The one guy, everybody, this guy. Okay. Vikings were one guy. Because why is there all this Muslim stuff there? Why is there Muslims in Viking graves? Why shouldn't there be Vikings in Viking graves? Why is there Muslims there? Unless Muslims ruled where Vikings are claiming that they ruled at. Right? That's like 500 years from now or whatever. They're talking about those guys that were on the block who shot up the whatever. They're talking about they were the empire of the pillaging lands and all that stuff. No, they were just some dudes on the block. What are you talking about? The most novel part of the finding is the name Ali. The first time it has appeared on artifacts in Scandinavia. The name offers a tantalizing but enigmatic clue. The use of Ali does suggest a Shia connection. Amir De Martino, program leader of Islamic studies at the Islamic College in London. But the pattern appears without the phrase Wali Allah or friend of Allah, a discrepancy that could be a simple mistake, lost in translation from one culture to another. Think they don't know? Really think they don't know? More than just Uhura. Understanding Star Trek's Lieutenant Uhura's civil rights and space history. Margaret A. Waitkamp. Margaret A. Waitkamp. Margaret A. Waitkamp. Lieutenant Uhura's significance as an African American character arose from the United States' peculiar history of socially constructed but nonetheless real definitions of race. This is a German talking. You hear what she just said, right? Lieutenant Uhura's significance as an African American character arose from the United States' peculiar history of socially constructed but nonetheless real definitions of race. Because of the legacy of slavery, for many years, even decades after slavery's abolition, people with any African ancestry in the United States were defined as African American. As a result, although Nichols has described her own heritage as a blend of races that include Egyptian, Ethiopian, Moor, Spanish, Welsh, Cherokee Indian, and a blonde, blue-eyed ancestor or two, the historic realities of American racial definitions eclipsed such complexity. And then, when I was reading that, what came to my mind was a video, a DVD, a documentary on Noble Drew Ali that Noda Ledge did, Red Pill and Blue Pill. And they put that in the documentary. And it made me look for this. Which just goes in hand with the Lieutenant Uhura thing. And if she said that she's Moor and Spanish and Ethiopian, and then she's not African American. Obviously, she's not African American. That's what they say that she is, but she's not that. Okay.
It is a highly structured society in which people live by strict codes of honor.
Why Tasha? As a Starfleet security officer, she may have represented his riskiest prize. He has an abnormally high need for achievement. Self-image.
So they're letting you know, giving you all the keys, giving you all the hints, giving you all the clues, giving you all the stuff. I know we fell for it too. It's not, you know what I mean? We fell for it too. We got played too. But we came to our senses and realized that, hold on a second. We said, hold on a second. Season 1, Episode 4, Code of Honor. The Code of Honor, and then there's the one about the Moors. Who are some galactic people. Right?
It is a highly structured society in which people live by strict codes of honor.
Why Tasha? As a Starfleet security officer, she may have represented his riskiest prize. He has an abnormally high need for achievement. Self-image to him is a function of what he thinks he's achieved. Those who set their standards too high can't kill to meet them.
Lutan considers himself heroic, risking literally everything in the face of our superior power.
We possess something you do not. A vaccine. If you respect our customs, and we see that respect, we will be friends, and we will make the antidote available to all who need it.
Who's the one that had the antidote? The medicine man. Right? The medicine man had the antidote that the Star Trek guys coming to. Oh, you don't think they know what's up? The guys with the turbans were the ones that had the antidote. Come on, the guys with the turbans had the antidote. You don't realize what's going on? You don't realize they took that from history? They're talking about you. That's why the guy was you. Those are European and blackface. Honors to red and blue for that one. That was a good one. That was a good one. We'll play that one again. Play that one again for the late people.
It is a highly structured society in which people live by strict codes of honor.
Why Tasha? As a Starfleet security officer, she may have represented his riskiest prize. He has an abnormally high need for achievement. Self-image to him is a function of what he thinks he's achieved. Those who set their standards too high can kill to meet them.
You think the strict code of honor is not love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice? You think that's not it? You think it's something else? You realize these are morals? Your civilization is expert. They have the antidote. How are people going across the galaxy to find some people who have the antidote? And then they're beaming themselves on your stuff with the carpet. Either you're going to have eyes to see and ears to hear, or you're dumb, so you're blind. You're blind, baby. You're blind to the facts. Black knights, green knights, knights of color, all around. Race and the round table. Since it seems like some sad internet people are mad that a man of color is going to play a role in a modern adaptation of King Arthur mythos, I thought I would drop some classical education truth bombs about the fifth-ish known men of color in King Arthur. First off, 6% of the Knights of the Round Table were men of color. Granted, that's only 3 out of 49 men, but the entire expanded United States Congress is hovering around 13% people of color and only 1 black senator. See the man in the figure 1? Palamedes, the Saracen? He's pretty colorful. He's green. These are their stories. So the Saracen were brothers. Palamedes, the Saracen, and his brother Sir Saphir and Sir Sajwardes. They were Saracen princes, sons of King Esclabar of Babylon, an area near modern Baghdad. Arthur's legend predates Islam, so descriptions of the brothers as Muslims are incorrect. They were added to make the story seem more spicy and multicultural. It's not that they're later additions or token characters, since Palamedes and his brothers are described as Tristram and Isolde, as well as Le Morte d'Arthur, two of the largest pieces of the Arthurian canon. Anyway, Palamedes was a Saracen knight whose nobility and prowess were almost unsurpassed. He falls madly in love with Iseult and makes a fool of himself over her, but she points out that his love, while flattering, creates no obligation on her part and has nothing to do with her own feelings. She chooses Tristram instead. During his long-standing rivalry with Tristan, which is excruciatingly boring, Palamedes pursues the questing beast, the most excellent creature of the world. No. Oh, yeah. Not all of the kings in the Arthurian sagas actually belong to the Round Table. Sir Morian was a black man added to the written canon in the 1200s, around the same time as Galahad. The son of a knight of the Round Table and an African noblewoman, Morian has his very own saga. Sir Morian is described as wearing North African armor, though most images of him are in European gear, possibly because the artists found Moorish armor hard to draw. Increasingly, the narrative makes a large point of describing his skin color, possibly because it was thought to be unusual and dramatic, especially as he seems to match his own shield and armor. He also contrasts with his very well-kept teeth. Here are some quotes from the Saga of Morian. He was all black, even as I tell ye. His head, his body, his hands were all black, saving only his teeth. His shield and his armor were even those of a Moor, and black as a raven. Had they not heard him call upon God, no man had dared face him, deemed that he was the devil, or one of his fellows out of hell, for that his steed was so great, and he was taller than even Sir Lancelot, and black withal, as I said afore. When the Moor heard these words, he laughed with heart and mouth. His teeth were white as chalk, otherwise he was altogether black. When the Moor heard these words, so that means he's not black then. He's not black. What he's wearing might be black. His skin might look black. His skin might look green. But know without a shadow of a doubt that it's a Moor. If the skin doesn't look like a modern European. If the skin doesn't look like a modern European, then it's a Moor. If they show you anything, and you see this, wow, that guy's really dark. He's a Moor. That's what it is. Yeah. Study, study, study. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Don't forget, 7:30. Eastern Time. Astrologics continues. And every Wednesday. And tonight's supposed to be the Xmas special. Truth about Xmas. If you thought you knew something, come learn some more stuff. And if you've been getting pressured about the Xmas and, you know what I mean, you don't want to do it because you're conscious now and yeah, well, you might want to reconsider just so you could not be, you know, the one to cast out sheep. Because you didn't want to come to the family. They flew in all the way from whatever, and then you don't want to go because you don't celebrate Christmas and all this. Well, celebrate Xmas then. Celebrate Xmas and go drink that eggnog. Peace and love to all the Moors. Oh yeah, and don't forget Sons of Allah every third Thursday of the month. And tomorrow is the third Thursday of the month, 9 p.m. Sons of Allah with Kudro El and Mizrahi Mel. Peace and love to all the Moors. Honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. Supreme honors to the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And honors to all the mothers. Thank you for life. Peace and love in Islam.